The Impressa Z7 One Touch from Jura, the new top-of-the-line addition to the family of one-touch coffee centers. Providing the ultimate bean-to-cup experience, the Z7 One Touch creates completely authentic fresh cappuccinos, lattes, and latte macchiatos without moving the cup. Just push one button, and the Z7 One Touch will grind the beans, deliver hot steamed and frothed milk, tamp and brew the espresso automatically. Your Z7 One Touch prepares ristretto, espresso, or 2 sizes of coffee. And just push the button twice to prepare 2 perfect servings of your favorite pressure-brewed crema coffee. And with the hot water button, you can draw hot water for the perfect Americano or for tea. With fully customizable features, you can select the strength, temperature, and size of all your drinks. The Z7 One Touch makes them just the way you want them, and all with the touch of a single button. Now with the Z7 One Touch, it's easier than ever to enjoy the full-flavored coffee bar experience. The bright LED dialogue system displays easy-to-understand instructions and shows you the strength and size of the beverage you're brewing. And just about any size cup will work. The height-adjustable butterfly spout accommodates 1 or 2 large or small cups. The cappuccino spout is also height-adjustable, the tallest spout on the market. Even tall latte macchiato glasses and thermal travel tumblers will fit underneath. The Z7 One Touch has many state-of-the-art features. It has electronic sensors to tell you that your water and bean levels are low. And the commercial-quality conical steel burr grinder is sound-insulated to let you operate the machine without disturbing a conversation. The 2 stainless steel-lined thermal blocks assure uninterrupted, continuous use with no downtime. And a separate ground coffee funnel lets you use a different kind of coffee, such as decaf, when you have regular beans in the bean container. And your Z7 One Touch has automatic cleaning cycles and the unique Clearl water filtration system, which purifies the water and eliminates decalcification, making maintenance as easy as making coffee. Its patented siphoning system and newly designed milk dial let you select between frothed and steamed milk. You can now create any size cappuccino, latte, or latte macchiato with as little or as much froth as you like, one after another, without any downtime. Add the elegant 2-tiered Jura cup warmer and the Jura Cool Control milk cooler for the complete Jura coffee experience. The Z7 One Touch is a stunning addition to any kitchen. The elegant silhouette, stainless steel components, and mirror-finished display panel, dramatic cup illumination, and the one-touch technology make the Z7 One Touch the most impressive automatic coffee center on the market. The Jura Z7 One Touch, if you love coffee. Follow these quick steps when setting up your Z7 One Touch for the first time, or when you set up after clearing your machine for storage or transport. First, fill the removable water tank with fresh, cold water. The next step is to fill the bean container. Open the coffee compartment and remove the bean container lid. Pour whole beans into the bean container. You may find traces of ground coffee in your new machine. This is normal. In order to correctly calibrate the burr grinder, coffee beans have been ground by your machine in the factory. Please make sure the bean container lid is in place. As a safety feature, your machine will not operate until the lid is returned. Now turn on your Z7 One Touch. The main power switch is on the left side of the machine. Press it to the on position. Once this is switched to the on position, the on-off button on the top of your machine illuminates, indicating that you can start the machine. Press the illuminated button. The display will read Language, English. To confirm, press the rotary dial on the top of the machine. Your Z7 One Touch will begin heating and ask you to press the illuminated rinse button to the right of the rotary dial to fill the internal system. It's also important to remember that the Clearl water filter should not be installed before or during the initial setup. Small grains from the filter may cause blockage inside your machine. The filter installation is covered in detail in the Clearl filter section of this DVD. Your machine will read Coffee Ready and is now ready to make all your coffee drinks. Each morning when you turn on your Z7 One Touch, it welcomes you while it heats. Once your machine has warmed, it will ask you to run a rinse cycle. Place a cup underneath the coffee spouts and press the rinse button to run a quick hot water cycle to warm all internal parts, including the coffee spouts. You can make espressos, coffees, cappuccinos, lattes, latte macchiatos, or tea once the LED display reads "Coffee Ready." If you're creating drinks with milk, you'll need to set up the stainless steel thermal milk container, which will keep up to 20 ounces of milk cold for up to 8 full hours. Begin by filling the thermal container with milk. Then insert the stainless steel rod with the clear washer into the underside of the lid and twist it onto the container. Next, insert the end of the flexible hose with the black washer into the milk container, making sure the black washer is firmly in place. Finally, attach the other end of the flexible hose to the milk dial. Now you can enjoy cappuccino, latte, or latte macchiato all day long without going back and forth to the refrigerator for milk. With the Jura Cool Control Milk Cooler, you can keep milk chilled and fresh on the counter next to your machine 24/7. While keeping your milk at a constant 39 degrees Fahrenheit, it keeps your milk fresh as long as any refrigerator. The Z7 One Touch is the latest Jura machine featuring One Touch technology. Each of these 8 buttons gives you a preset amount of a different drink. And with its override feature, you're always able to modify any button setting without permanently changing the preset values, 1 cup at a time. We'll show you later how you can reprogram each button to the strength, volume, and temperature you prefer to give you coffee the way you like it with just 1 touch. Let's take a look at the buttons from left to right. This is your milk button. Press it to dispense steamed and frothed milk. This is your latte macchiato button. Press it to create a dramatic layered drink of steamed milk, espresso, and frothed milk. This is your One Touch cappuccino button. Press it to make a perfect cappuccino by first dispensing frothed milk and then adding espresso. This is the special coffee button. It dispenses coffee out of the coffee nozzle located behind the milk nozzle. The height-adjustable nozzle is perfect for use with travel mugs. Whenever you push one of these 4 buttons, the beverage will be produced through the height-adjustable nozzles on the left side. Now let's move to the buttons on the right of the machine. The first button is the hot water button. It dispenses through this spout. The next 3 buttons are preset to produce different-sized crema coffees. Here is the ristretto button. Press this for a short, strong cup of espresso. Next is the espresso button. Press this button to make a slightly larger cup of strong espresso. And finally, the coffee button. Press this for a larger, milder cup of pressure-brewed coffee. All 3 of the espresso buttons on the right side will create rich crema coffee that flows through the height-adjustable butterfly coffee spouts in the center of your machine. Now let's look at how One Touch technology works, starting with the coffee buttons on the right. The strongest, richest pressure-brewed coffee is ristretto. Place a cup under the adjustable coffee spout. Push the ristretto button. The Z7 One Touch grinds, tamps, and brews the espresso while it shows the strength setting and the brewing progress bar. Strength, volume, and temperature are all preset in the factory. It's that easy. The best-known pressure-brewed coffee is espresso. Place a cup under the adjustable coffee spout and press the espresso button. And it's good to remember, if at any time you want to stop the brewing process prematurely, simply press any of the drink buttons or the rotary button on top. Now adjust the spout for a larger cup and press the coffee button. The Z7 One Touch brews in 2 steps. First, it infuses some hot water into the coffee, pauses for a few seconds, and then continues brewing. This 2-step process brings out the maximum flavor. Using the butterfly spout, it's easy to make 2 cups at a time. With a cup under each coffee nozzle, press the coffee button twice. The machine will create 2 of your programmed coffees. The Z7 Touch can brew up to 8 ounces of coffee with any of the single cup buttons, and up to 16 ounces when brewing 2 cups. To make an Americano, an espresso with hot water, start by brewing an espresso using the espresso button. If you want a larger espresso, just turn the rotary knob to override the factory setting for espresso. Turning the dial to the right will increase the volume of your espresso. Once the espresso has brewed, move the glass under the hot water spout and add a portion of hot water using the hot water button. To decrease the programmed water portion, just turn the rotary dial to the left. A perfect Americano. You can also use the hot water portion button to make tea. Place a cup with a tea bag under the hot water spout and press the hot water button. Again, the pre-programmed water portion can be changed on a cup-by-cup basis by turning the rotary dial. You can also stop and start the water flow by pressing the hot water button at any time. Each drink button on your Z7 Touch comes preset from the factory for size, temperature, and strength. Here are the factory volume settings for each button. For the coffee button, the factory setting is 5 ounces. If you'd like to quickly customize the size setting to your cup, you can visually program the volume by simply pressing and holding the drink button. The display will read, "Enough, press button." When you have enough coffee in your cup, press the coffee button once again. The Z7 Touch will confirm that it has saved the new volume setting for the coffee button. Now let's move to the 4 drink buttons on the left of the machine. All except the special coffee button use the cappuccino frother, which has 3 positions. On the right is the cappuccino symbol. In this position, milk is steamed and frothed. In the middle is the latte symbol. When the dial is adjusted to this position, milk is steamed without adding froth. And the position on the left is for cleaning. When your machine prompts you to run a cappuccino rinse cycle, move the dial to this position to block the flow of milk. With the Z7 Touch, you can make the perfect one-touch latte macchiato. There's no need to move the cup between a frother and a coffee spout. To begin, make sure that the dial on the nozzle points to the cappuccino symbol. Now adjust the milk spout to accommodate your glass, and push the one-touch latte macchiato button. The Z7 Touch begins by grinding beans for espresso, then siphons milk from the milk container to create both steam and froth. Then it pauses, giving the frothed and steamed milk time to separate into layers. Finally, it brews a shot of rich, dark espresso that rests between the steamed and frothed milk to create the perfect layered latte macchiato. To make a cappuccino, lower the height-adjustable milk nozzle and place a cup under the nozzle. Then check to see that the frother dial is in the cappuccino position. Now simply press the cappuccino button to make a delicious, frothy cappuccino. Your Z7 Touch will froth the milk and then add a shot of espresso for the perfect one-touch cappuccino. Using the same drink button, you can make a latte, an espresso with steamed milk. To make latte, be sure the milk dial is in the latte or center position, and press the cappuccino button. To make a latte in the same size cup, you will need to increase the milk portion once the milk begins flowing. Simply turn the rotary knob on the top of the machine to the right to increase the volume of milk. Remember to leave enough room for the espresso. A perfect latte. The special cup button can be set to any size pressure brewed coffee, but is generally used for a larger cup of coffee. The milk nozzle is height adjustable and tall enough to accommodate a large ceramic cup or thermal travel mug. You can override the programmed settings without permanently changing them by turning the rotary knob on the top of the machine to the right. The farthest button on the left is the milk button. This is for dispensing either steamed or frothed milk. You can use it to add steamed milk to tea or coffee, or move the dial to the cappuccino position to create froth on top of doppios. You can also visually program your milk drinks by pushing and holding any of the drink buttons. For example, to visually program the volume of both milk and coffee for the Latte Macchiato button, just push and hold the button. The display will read, "Enough milk? Press button." When you have enough milk in your glass, press the button again to stop the flow of milk. When the coffee portion begins flowing, the display will read, "Enough? Press button." When you have enough coffee in your drink, press the button to stop the flow of coffee. The new settings for Latte Macchiato will be stored in your machine until you reset them. "10 minutes after making the last cappuccino or using the milk button, the Z71 Touch will prompt you to rinse the cappuccino nozzles. You can also program your machine to request a cappuccino rinse cycle immediately following the brewing process. We'll be looking at how to program your machine's functions later in the DVD. Turn the dial to the steam-only position, and with a cup underneath the nozzles, push the rinse button. The Z71 Touch will clean the milk nozzle with hot water. This will prevent any internal milk buildup or potential clogging. We suggest thoroughly cleaning the frother nozzle daily. Just fill a bowl with hot water and add a capful of cappuccino cleaner. Remove the flexible hose and all the frother pieces, including the dial, and place them in the solution to release any milk residues. After soaking, rinse all the parts under running water. Reassemble by attaching the frothing cylinder at the bottom of the dial and the venting tip into the top. Make sure the tip snaps into place. Then gently push the dial window into place and return the entire assembly to the Z71 Touch. Finally, reattach the hose to both the frother and the thermal milk container. You may want to change the grinder to a finer or coarser setting. With most beans, a medium grind will produce the thickest crema. With dark, oily beans, we recommend grinding in a somewhat coarser setting to avoid over-extraction. A quick reminder, adjustments to the grinder setting can only be made while the machine is grinding. Perhaps you have regular beans in your Z71 Touch bean container but would like a cup of decaf. You can use this funnel for pre-ground coffee, bypassing the grinder. Open the funnel lid. The Z71 Touch automatically disengages the grinder and the display shows pre-ground fill powder. Just fill a maximum of 2 scoops of ground coffee into the funnel, then close the lid. Now select the cup button of choice and the Z71 Touch tamps and brews the pre-ground coffee. This is also a great way to use flavored pre-ground coffees. But please remember, flavored or coated beans should not be used in the bean container. The coating will eventually clog the grinder. You'll brew your best cup by having your flavored and coated beans pre-ground at a medium espresso fineness. Your Z71 Touch will arrive pre-programmed with factory settings for portion size, temperature, and strength. With the machine's fully programmable features, you can customize each of these settings to your personal preferences, one button at a time. Let's take a look at all the functions you can change or look up. Press and hold the rotary dial until you hear a beep. Your machine displays the first function, maintenance. Your Z71 Touch will automatically remind you when to run any internal routine cleanings. But this function allows you to run intermittent cleanings, such as running the cappuccino rinse cycle or running a tablet cleaning cycle. The next function is products. This is where you custom set the size, temperature, and strength of your drink buttons. Next is filter. We'll be installing a Clearal water filter later. If you initialize a filter, there's no need to decalcify your machine. If you choose not to use a Clearal filter, you'll have to set the hardness of your water. Your machine will instruct you when it's time to decalcify your Z71 touch. The frequency will depend on your water hardness. Using a filter eliminates the need to set water hardness. Energy lets you set your machine to various power-saving modes. For details, see the operating instructions. The Off-After feature lets you set the number of hours after last use your machine turns off automatically. The Rinses function allows you to set your preferences on the rinses through the milk nozzle following use and through the coffee spout when you turn on the machine each day. Rename gives you the opportunity to personalize your Z71 touch. You can change the names for all coffee and milk buttons. You can even change the welcome and the turn-off messages. The Logo function lets you choose from the Jura logo, the steaming cup logo, or to remove the logo from the display altogether. Next is Reset. This allows you to take your machine back to its original factory settings, either drink by drink or all drink buttons at once. The Information function lets you check all your machine's records, such as how many cups your machine has made with each button, and how many cleaning cycles and filter changes it has run. It also has a progress bar that tells you how far you're into the life of your filter and how long until your next cleaning cycle. The Settings feature lets you select the liquid measure in either milliliters or ounces. The Language function lets you select from 8 languages. And finally, there's Exit, which takes you out of the programming mode and back to coffee ready. Let's look at how easy it is to reprogram drink buttons. All drink buttons, including the hot water and milk portions, can be programmed to your preferences using the rotary dial on the top of your Z71 touch. Let's look at how easy it is, starting with the Ristretto button. To begin, press and hold the rotary dial until you hear a beep. Then turn the dial until you see Product, and press the rotary dial once again. Your machine will prompt you to select a button to program. Let's create new settings for the Ristretto button. Scrolling through the features you can change, there is Volume, Strength, and Temperature. Let's set Volume first. Press the rotary dial to make changes to the volume. Then turn the dial to the right to increase the volume from a ½ ounce to 1 ounce, and press the rotary dial to confirm the new setting. Turn the rotary dial to advance to the next setting, Strength, and press the dial once again to make a change. Turn the dial to the left to decrease the strength, and press the dial once again to confirm the new setting, Normal. Finally, turn the dial to the temperature setting and press it to make a change. Turn the dial to the normal setting and press the dial once again to confirm the new setting. To exit programming buttons, turn the dial to Exit and press. To exit programming altogether, turn the dial, scrolling through all programmable functions, to Exit and press once more. You are now coffee ready with new settings for the Ristretto button: 1 ounce, normal strength, normal temperature. Let's take a quick moment to install and activate the Clearal water filter. Begin by removing the water tank to install the filter. Attach the extension rod to the Clearal water filter. You will feel it click into place. Next, push the filter and extension rod tightly into place in the water tank, and latch the filter cover over the extension rod. Then replace the water tank and make sure it's at least half full of water. Then turn on the machine and make sure you have a large cup or container under the milk nozzle. Once your machine says "Coffee ready," press the rotary dial until you hear the beep. Turn the dial to Filter and press the dial. Turn to Yes and press the dial once again to confirm. The display button will read "Insert filter, press button." As we've already inserted the filter into the water tank, just press the Rinse button to start rinsing the filter. The display will read "Filter Rinse." For the next 90 seconds, water will be pumped through the filter and out through the milk nozzle. Using a Clearl cartridge improves your water quality by taking out calcium, chlorine, and other unwanted elements just before brewing. It also makes decalcifying the Z7 Touch obsolete. You can interrupt the filter rinse cycle by simply pressing the rinse button. Empty the cup and replace it under the cappuccino nozzle, and press the rinse button again to resume the cycle. When the filter has completed the rinse cycle, your machine will stop automatically. The Z7 Touch will remind you when it's time to replace the filter. For details, see the operating instructions. A powerful memory chip in the Z7 Touch monitors all functions to keep the machine in good working order, and its display reminds you when it's time to clean the machine. It also automatically monitors the water tank and the used coffee grounds. When the display reads "Water tank fill," simply refill the water tank with fresh, cold water. Don't worry about the tank or pump running dry. It will always keep a reserve of approximately 6 ounces of water. After 16 cups of coffee, your machine will automatically prompt you to empty the grounds. The overflow tray, along with the used grounds container, slide out easily and can be emptied and rinsed with warm water. Please remember to empty the grounds and water in the tray container every time you remove the tray. Simply replace the tray and your machine is ready again. The Z7 Touch also monitors the internal brewing chamber and tamping area. After each 200 cups of coffee, it will remind you to run a short tablet cleaning cycle to remove coffee oil buildup in those areas. You can find details in the operating instructions. Jura Impreza Z7 Touch makes your coffees the way you want them. It's smart, user-friendly, and brews all your coffee drinks perfectly every time. It's the perfect system, perfect taste. Should you have any further questions regarding your Z7 Touch's use and care, please see your local Jura dealer or contact the Jura Customer Service Department at 1-800-220-5701 or ask your questions online at contact@jura-capresso.com. You can also visit our website for additional product information. We're at www.jura-capresso.com.